Welcome to the first tutorial into Unreal Engine 5. We will be taking a short break from the planned schedule of my videos because simply Unreal Engine dropped and there's a lot of interest for the new features and such things. But don't worry, the series will continue about the game, about the tutorials that has been done in Unreal Engine 4 recently. But today we're just taking a small break off and looking into one of the features that Unreal Engine 5 has to offer. So let's dive into it. So here we are for the first time in Unreal Engine 5. Now this is just a simple third-person template, and this is what it looks like in Unreal Engine 5, and you probably notice immediately that the UI is quite different. There's a larger focus on the main viewport, and you have a slightly different look and feel for the user interface, and some of the elements have been moved around and some of them have been more streamlined. But for today, as you know per the title, we're gonna be looking a little bit at Nanite, just showing you what it's about and how easy it is to get it functioning into your system or project, and generally how it works. So one of the ways that we can take a look at Nanite is by putting in some assets from Quixel Megascans, and we might as well do that and show that off as well. So up here in the top left you have like content now, where you have a bunch of things available, and one of the things is Quixel Bridge, because now in Unreal Engine 5 you have Quixel more integrated into Unreal Engine than you had before. So now you can check around here for whatever you want to do or get, and then just drag and drop it into your project basically. So if we had this, let's say this chair, we wanted to have it in our project, all we have to do is drag and drop and it's in there. Now one of the cool things about this is also that not only is it drag and drop and like easy to get into your system or project, you can also see down here that it's updating with static meshes, and the reason for that is it does an asynchronous load of the stuff that you load into your projects from Quixel. Let's demonstrate that once more by picking something else. If we were to bring this cupboard here or drawer, wooden drawer cabinet into our scene, where did I lose it? Where did it go? There it is. And I was to click on it and see over here it has its mesh, and we can go to its mesh. We can click over here, we can see it has 300 triangles on it. And that's all good and fine, right? But now you see that it's updating again here. And you might be able to notice also when that happens that it's updating the mesh with details. What it's actually doing is it's loading in first a low polygon version of the mesh, just so you have something quickly into the project, and then after that it is loading and then updating the mesh when it has the high resolution version that you have. So for me particular, I have high quality chosen, so it was going to load in a high quality version eventually, and since it has updated now, you remember we had 300 triangles for this mesh before. Now if we go and look at this mesh, you'll see that we have a 4,400 triangles. So that's a pretty sweet piece of functionality that they have introduced, making the workflow very smooth and you don't have to wait for things. And you can also notice it when it comes to shaders, that you don't have to wait for them anymore. They will just be continuously updating when they need to. But anyway, back to Nanite. So in our content browser, which you bring up with Control space, I have downloaded a tree here from Quixel earlier today. And if we were to bring this tree into the scene here, we can see that this particular tree is consisting of approximately 30,000 triangles, which is a lot for a tree, right? Now, the way that Nanite works is that it makes use of technology like creating dynamic LODs and makes it so that you don't have to take into account the details depending on distance and such. So if we were to create multiple copies of this tree, just so we have a bunch of geometry in our level here. Let's see, like so. And then we'll multiply that even further. So remember, each of these trees now is represented by 30,000 triangles, approximately, of course. So now we are starting to get sort of a lot of triangles in here. Let's multiply this a little bit further. Like so. And we'll put them over there, and we'll put them over there. Now we have a bunch of triangles here, and you can see that by going to lit over here and changing to wireframe, and now you see that these trees are showing off the triangles. The blue represents the triangles. If you go in close, you can see the triangle structure in the trees actually themselves. So you see that there's like this cacophony of triangles now here being rendered. If we go back to the lit, or now that it says wireframe portion of the viewport, you have something called Nanite visualization. And if you go in here and you say overview, you can see some different information when it comes to displaying what your Nanite geometry looks like. Now you notice that all of these are black currently, and we can go to Nanite visualization and go to triangles, and you'll see it's completely black. The reason for this is that none of these, or it's the same mesh multiplied many times, is using Nanite currently. So if we were to go into this mesh again, you can see here that it has under Nanite settings, Nanite enabled, and it's currently disabled here. So if we were to click this and apply changes, it will adapt this mesh for Nanite. And now you can see that the triangles up here changed, but the tree still has all of its details still in it. And we can start off already here and going to let's see, where is it? Is it not available in here? Okay, let's go out into the map then. So if we go out into the map now and we change our setting to view Nanite triangles, now you can see that we get these colorful segments of the trees. Now each of these segments is, as far as I understand it, represented of what it called over here as a triangle. It's no longer technically a triangle, I think. It is instead a cluster. So it gathers within one of these triangles, it gathers a subset of other triangles and then uses that as its level of detail. So the closer you get in, the more triangles within that subset it will be showing, and the further away you get, the fewer of these subsets it will be showing. And this is also something that we now can see in the overview over here. You can see different LODs or details, how it's being handled, how the geometry is being handled by the system to properly display it and also make it more effective. So now we have a bunch of triangles here, and because we have activated Nanite, it will be much more performant to be in this world and work with it and play in it. This particular system, we don't notice a whole lot of difference because it's actually a fairly powerful system, so we won't notice any difference between going from Nanite to having normal meshes, but that is how simple it is to actually activate Nanite. So that'll do it. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you did not like it, leave a dislike. Leave any suggestions or comments you have down below. Subscribe and share this video if you want to see more like it in the future. In the next video, when it comes to Unreal Engine 5, we will be looking more into the new features that it has before we actually start making some tutorials when it actually comes to creating something in Unreal Engine 5. Anyway, that's all for now.